working on something, and then I'll turn a light on. Hang on just a moment. Give everybody a moment to get in here. Oh my goodness, I'm translucent. I'm translucent. I guess maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. This is the first time I've actually gotten this thing to work right in this horizontal capacity. I'm crooked. I'm crooked. Oh, look, you can see my favorite picture of me and my hubs. I'm going to be working on biscuits. That sounded funny. If you don't know who I am, hi, my name's Liz. I'm hijacking the Hillbilly Heart channel for a crochet and chat. And turn that off. Hey, that worked out really well. Hello, hello, hello. And what we're going to do is we're going to crochet and chat. I've been watching, which is completely unlike me, I've been watching this. I can't find a lot I like. I've been watching this new Prime thing called Elle about the Legally Blonde girl, which is completely not me, y'all. I don't watch, like, when I sit down, I watch like Lost or Alone or Survivor or documentaries or something with like a historical value or educational value. I've been watching Elle mostly because it was the first thing that came on, and I just pushed the button so there'd be something playing, and then doggone it, I got into it. So, yeah, I'm losing my mind, but that's what I've been watching. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to YouTube because I was watching something and I wanted to share with y'all. And if I can find it, I will share with y'all. I can't have such a hard time looking at this phone. Okay, number one, if there's one channel that you support on the internet, you need to support the Boring Channel or the Lawn Care Juggernaut. It's the same guy. The man's an angel. He deserves to be absolutely commended for everything he does. He is probably one of the sweetest blessings that the good Lord placed on earth to share with us. His name's Kevin Hansen. Kevin. And he will go out, and people that owe like more than their home's worth in fines because they either have lost a job, gotten sick, had to care for an ailing parent, something tragic has happened in their life, he'll mow their yards to get them out of those city fines. And then normally he'll also repair things for them and leave them money. The man's an angel. So if you watch anybody, watch the Lawn Care Juggernaut, the Boring Channel, same thing. Also, I watched a speech that Spencer Pratt did from his front yard of his mobile home where his home burnt down in California. That's a sentence I never thought I'd ever say out of my mouth either. Today's a bunch of firsts, y'all. It's a weird one. And let me tell you something. I know that the MTV reality shows made him out to be the villain. This is Biscuit's head, by the way. I'm fixing to give him hair. Don't feel bad for Biscuits. And I know that Spencer Pratt was made out to be a villain by MTV because that's how they sold that show, The Hills. Stupid girls meet either really good or really horrible boys and the consequences thereof because these girls are stupid. And listen, and the girls go on to have clothing lines and major business deals. Shut up, MTV. They ain't stupid. Can you tell me I'm not get scared alone at night? I don't know. I sleep with about 4 guns in reach in my house because I used to supervise murderers. So, different for everybody. This is Biscuits with Biscuits glasses on that I ordered. Isn't it cute? We're going to give Biscuits some hair. Biscuits, I know he's going to get mad and offended if I don't give him some hair, but I had stuff I wanted to talk about first. But did I not nail it with the glasses that I got for Biscuits? I'm sorry. That's cute. I was very proud of my choice of eyewear for Biscuits. Did I ever think I'd be buying crochet dolls eyewear? No. No, 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 no. No. I went from hunting hogs, supervising murderers, spending like, oh no, 3 weeks a year at the police academy, to being a memo and crocheting and making dolls. It just doesn't make sense to me either. So if you're confused, buddy, I'm discombobulated there with you. Don't feel bad. Anyway, Spencer Pratt made this awesome statement. And literally the only thing that the women or anyone against him can say is, oh, but he was such a douchebag back in the day. Honey, it was reality TV, but it was a scripted reality TV show. I really, at this point, think California has raised people to, like, not absorb context clues and environmental clues around them. I'm concerned about the younger people in California. It concerns me. And I send a lot of crochet to California. And I'm like, well, there's some good people out there. And then I see all these people putting all this stuff under a Spencer Pratt video where he made really good sense. And I'm like, I'm worried about you people. I'm worried about you people. I live here. I can attest to this. I'm worried. Let me see if I can stretch this any taller because I'm short. Hey, it did. I had a little bit more in there. Hey. Hey, that's better. You can also see, let me turn this off because it's just going to blind us. It's just going to blind us if we don't. See, if y'all haven't been here a while, I put David's bear hide on the wall. And I've been slowly turning my favorite pictures of us into like old-timey photos, because eventually the whole living room is just going to be old-time photos and taxidermy and stuff like that. It's my aesthetic. I'm strange. I know these things. So anyway, Spencer Pratt, I'm kind of like, you know something? Never thought I'd say that I kind of like this guy. I kind of like this guy. Boy's got some gonads. He's been saying some pretty good crap. You love me for me. What is it? There's a song that's that. Well, that came back from my 19-year-old brain somewhere. Let me get my crochet hook. We're going to give Biscuit some hair. I have saved this last little bit of this brown yarn I had to match his goatee, because this is all. And it's super, super, super thin. Oh, I dropped it. It's super, 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 super thin. So, which means that it's going to take a lot to make his hair. So, I had to save it all. And we're going to attempt to give Biscuit some hair. I don't know exactly how great it's going to look. But it's going to be his hair. And then if I have to do individual, sprigs, I will. But the good thing is he keeps more of a crew cut, so I don't have to fight as much like I do with Booma. Well, I tell you what, if I ever open my mouth, you never have to worry about what's on my mind, because it just comes right out. As my mother used to always tell me, I have no backspace, edit, or delete. It doesn't exist. There it is. Now, it got me in trouble sometimes in court. But the judge always knew I was telling the truth, so, My judge once told me after I had retired, he said, I really appreciated you, Elizabeth. He said, because I always knew that you were at least telling me what you really thought. Yeah, because it won't come out any other way. Yeah, I ain't got a filter. No filter here. No filter here. Matter of fact, I just got a t-shirt completely blanked on buying it, but I guess I thought it was fun enough I got it. And literally it was like $3. And it said, I don't have the energy to even pretend to like you today. I'm going to wear it to Walmart. I don't want to ever go to Walmart, but I'm sure that there'll be a time that I have to go to Walmart. When I go to Walmart, that's going to be my Walmart shirt. I don't even have the energy to pretend to like you today. Sorry, Walmart. I've got to turn this light on or I'm not going to be able to see the crochet, but it's going to create a crossway, and I apologize. So this is how tiny this starts out. But we got to get Biscuits higher. I don't want Biscuits to be mad at me. I don't want, what would you say? I don't want him to think I've done Biscuits betrayal. Biscuits is not somebody I don't want to be put on his, outer space looking map and have a whole page written about how I didn't give him hair when I said I would. So I'm giving the man hair. Becca, I mailed yours yesterday and they did your shipping. So he's on his way. Hey, Biscuits is one of those silent men that doesn't speak unless he has something to say, and those are the ones you have to watch out for. How do I know this? I'm married to one. Married to one. If David ain't talking, you can tell by the way his shoulders are set why he's not talking. He's either busy, relaxed, and fine, or they're set at an angle, his fists are clenched, and he's thinking upon harming somebody. And you just got to walk away and let him work through it. So I learned that very young in our marriage. Just like, he's pondering on putting a hurting on somebody. I think I'll just go over here and leave him to think about that. Now, I've never seen him be violent. I've seen him be very upset with people and very vocal, very, very verbal. But, the man has a size 14 ring finger. I'd hate to see him mad actually take hold of somebody. It would worry me. But I really honestly am the mean one in the marriage. Nobody ever believes me, but I'm telling the God's honest truth. I'm the mean one. Someday, y'all will believe me. I did get an update from Walmart. They're still investigating. So I think I uncovered something been going on for a little while at the Wally World. Because it shouldn't have took this long to figure out how this lady told us the truth. Yeah, he didn't give her the money. He didn't give her the money or the option to reobtain this item. Let's fix this and go on. Oh, no. It's still going on. Something's still happening. Oh, something's still happening up there. I believe we may have figured something out in my little godforsaken county. Which doesn't make me feel any better, because you would like to think the counties can run and run at 90% capacity of good. You would hope. I mean, you would hope. You would be wrong, but you would hope. Oh, I'd say it is. I'd say it's absolutely going on at the Walmart everywhere. But they acted really appalled because when I said he refused to give me this item because he said it was my fault, I was the one at fault because the lady tried to hand it to me. I said, she didn't try to hand it to me. If she had tried to hand it to me, I would have grabbed it and put it in my cart. I said, she took it off the spinny thing and set it behind my vision line. I said, so I didn't know where it went. I'm focused on the spinny thing where you're supposed to put my products in bags. And that's where I'm supposed to get them. And I said, then when I went to spin that thing like I was on the Price is Right, she told me no. And I was like, okay, do I have everything? Yes, you have everything. Okay. She used her words. That's fine. I believe her. Next time, if I ever have to go up there, next time somebody says, honey, you have it all. Well, honey, twice. That has been a lie. So we're not going to make it a third time. I'm going to spin this thing. Now, if you want to hang on, I'll spin you too. But if I were you, I'd let go. And I'm going to spin that thing and see if I've got all my stuff. Maybe some mad. Maybe just the simple things in life, y'all. Let us spin the stupid spinny things at Walmart to see that we've got all of our crap in the bags. It's a simple pleasure, okay? It makes us know Yeah, victory lap. We got them all. Listen, after we spend $100, $200, $300 trying to feed and clothe and get all the crap you need, let us. Bob Barker's dead. Give us a moment. We we just want to spend that thing and feel the sweet success of having backed everything up and no, there's nothing left. We've got it all. Next time that somebody tells me no, I might call them a heifer, and that is not a term of endearment when used in that way. It is not. You heifer, move. I'm going to spend the spending thing. It's my right. I talk to corporate. I don't know what's been going on at my Walmart. They have got, I don't know, everybody's wearing their panties 3 sizes too tight, but something's in their crawl and they're getting irritable. I don't know why. Oh, I always check my receipts. I kind of stand there in the door and kind of meal, and they hate me for it. They hate me for it, but and I'm also always, as they bring stuff up, always watching. And I know they hate me. I know hey, I will. If there's a penny discrepancy, excuse me, we have a problem, sir. But now, have you been watching all the stuff about Walmart and these new? They don't have all the digital stuff out at my Walmart yet because they know that we will go in full on revolt here in the sticks. And listen, and they're all like, oh, and they're also doing this emotional intelligence. So with the digital stuff, so if they think you're excited about getting something, or your children get excited about getting something, then it will raise the price. Do you know how many kids y'all are going to get smacked on the back of the head in Walmart? Stop it, Walmart. Stop it. You're going to get somebody a DCS case because they wanted not the Great Value brand, but the real brand of cereal. Stop it. Walmart's going to be causing a bunch of child abuse to go on because mom can't afford the cereal that's 3 times as much as the Great Value brand. Stop it, Walmart. Little instigator, as my son said when he didn't have any teeth. You're an institutor. Walmart's an institutor. It's stupid though. But listen, they say if you're excited in the aisles that they'll raise the price. I have never been excited to be in a Walmart aisle in my life. So I expect rock bottom prices. So if I go in there and I don't get rock bottom prices, I'm going to be like, listen, you read me wrong. Because, honest Pete, I'd rather be sitting in cow patty trying to figure out how to get stains out of my clothes than in this aisle in Walmart. So, fix it. Fix it. So a lot of people said that they're going to put the fake tears in their eyes and walk through Walmart. Hey, I did. The only place they have the digital stuff is in the clothing section in our Walmart. And that other weekend we were going to that before the tornado whipped through. We were going to that little 4th of July market. David was, and it was going to be hot. And I was going to get him one of them Water Weekend really cool. He's got a few, but I was going to get him a new one because his other ones kind of get ruined at work and stuff. Last time I bought one, they were like 8, 10, right around, that much, less than $12. I picked up one that was a pretty color because I think blue happens to look very nice on my husband. And I start swinging this stupid thing around like I'm in flag corps in high school trying to find a mother freaking price tag on this flipping thing. Ain't one to be had. Well, I wasn't about to whip out the app, but I do know where those little scanner things are, and they still do have them in our store right now because our store is old and will be one of the last ones to be updated. Let's just be honest. And I like to swap my craft item stuff there to make sure that it is the price they tell me it is. So I went over there and swapped that darn thing. $16. no, not even just $16.80. We'll say the $16 wasn't even a name brand, wasn't like a Reebok or anything. It was just one of those water wicking little flimsy, shirts that feels a little bit better in the summertime. $16.80. And I know my face went from, hi, I'm Pleasant, I'm in Walmart, to who do I have to kill to get the price to come down? Because that's how I felt. I felt like I was in some kind of game. I feel like in some kind of, I used to do the grocery dash freaking game shows, and everybody would go and hit the chicken or the turkeys and put all the turkeys in their carts. No, go to Walmart. Go to Walmart, smiling and all, and just keep smiling and chug everything in your cart, and you're going to win. They've changed the game, y'all. Now you're going to win. Biscuit's hair is not going as easily as I thought it would go because this fine yarn is them. So that's how, now what was that called? Something other dash. Where am I thinking of DoorDash? I have never DoorDashed in my life. I don't even think we have DoorDash here. I'm in the sticks, y'all. I'm in the boonies. And what was it? It was where you ran through the grocery store and you got the most, and whoever got the most crap won. Well, that's easy these days. But now with digital pricing and you don't know the price, all you have to do is that they're going to raise the price if you look happy about buying it or excited about buying it. So you just walk down something that is fairly expensive on a good day and look really excited about being able to buy it, and you're going to win that game. How sad is that? Crack the code. Let's start a game like that. We can all just put on our little acting hats and go to Walmart and win a game show. I can't stand Walmart. And I'm very tolerant of people, but Walmart about takes the cake for me. It really does. It really does. From me not knowing the lady that's checking me out, but apparently she knows me and my whole entire family, that's annoying, because then I'm like, how much information do I give this woman? I'm retired law enforcement. I don't know what your game is here. I don't know what you're trying. How much information should I give you? I don't know. Let me see if I can turn this up. It makes me concerned. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna blind myself by the time I'm over this live. So either I'm going into, the checkout line, and you get one of those ladies that's chomping her gum like a cow chewing its cud, and it's just like swiping her because she's there till closing, and she's been there since they opened, and you feel sorry for her, but at the same time, ain't my problem. And this could be a really nice 3-minute interaction, but okay, let's not. Or you get the woman that's like, how's your mom? How's your dad? How's your grandma dead? How's your other grandma dead? Really, lady, how long has it been since you checked on the family? I will say these things. And then they start asking about, well, how about your uncle? How's he been doing? Well, he moved back to South Carolina. Wait, should I have given that up? I don't know if I should have given that up. And it turns into an interrogation process. And I'm sitting there going, what's she angling for? Why does she care? I've never seen you anywhere, not even in church. How do you know so much about, And then at the very end, when you're putting all your bags in your buggy, she'll go, oh, yeah, I went to school with your mom and we were real good friends. You should have led with that, lady. I would have been much more compliant in the entire conversation. You should have led with that. People kind of amuse me. And I'm a little standoffish at times when you start interrogating me. So, it's like I don't want to incriminate myself. What am I about to tell you? I don't know if I want to tell you these things. That's Walmart for me. Walmart is like a social experiment. I really think that they made Walmart. They made Walmart for the low-level tier social experiments. Costco, and Sam's Club is the next step up. Costco is the next step up from that. And then you get up to, where the high and mighty rat personified people, like Nordstrom's and all that stuff, and all these little places where you have to go shop or you have to get member memberships and stuff for perks. And I swear it's like a rat experiment, and that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. It's like a rat experiment, and it's like, are we learning new tricks or are we losing skills at this point? Probably losing skills. Speaking of losing skills, have you been seeing all the stories about the bear coming out and doing all these, go in the hole, and doing all these amazing things in all these places, like bears letting themselves into supermarkets, bears opening milk coolers, bears opening Pepsi coolers, bears opening the bear-proof trash cans, bears waiting for revolving doors at hotels so they can go in and get in the air conditioner. I've been telling y'all for a long time that these bears are getting too smart for their own right, you know. Bears are not my favorite creatures, we'll just say that. Bears act, as I put it, like drunken toddlers. Everywhere they go, they kind of stumble around like they're milk drunk, and they kind of smack stuff, they bite stuff, they taste test, they scratch stuff for no reason, they'll smash a patio chair just because they thought it looked like fun. They're like milk drunk toddlers on a rampage before nap time. And now they're turning into like Ocean's 11, Mission Impossible kind of bears. Y'all, it ain't normal. It ain't normal. These bears out at this farm where my husband traps the nuisance animals, these bears, now we have to have trail cams out to watch the bears because the bears are watching my husband. They have learned that wherever my husband is, probably a dead hog is going to show up or part of a dead hog. And so that's part of a meal. So they have, Spaghetti-O equated my husband with a dinner. That's scary, y'all. And now when they hear his vehicle or smell him, they're like, oh, look, hey, catering's arrived. I swear that's what they think. And so he's been building shooting houses. And because we're older. We're not that old yet, but we're older. We're getting into our comfy era. I can't say that. And when we go out and we want to hunt, my disorder makes it to where I just can't sit out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, holy smokes dang. I can't just sit out in the weather and the rain and deal with it all anymore because my disorder, my body will go crazy. So my husband has decided to build all these shooting houses, and the whole family, dadgummit, my yarn split makes you want to cuss. I won't though. So he's built these little shooting houses. So instead of just, because if you do those little pop-up blinds, bears will just obliterate them. You can't leave anything out there. They'll just milk drunk toddler on a rampage. Just think about that. So they're making like little tiny cabins. 2 people can fit in. They have tin roof, secure, got shooting portals and windows. Some's got sliding glass windows so you can open them up. Doors that lock. And everything's kind of reinforced. Because the bear numbers are so great out in that area, you feel a little better when you got something around you. You get, it gives you just a 5-second, oh my God moment to prep yourself if the bear's trying to get in the house with you. And when you're stalk hunting, you normally put your back up against a tree and you look from where that, deer or whatever you're hunting that you think is going to come from. And it's sometimes hard to hear something that's very stealthy coming up at another angle. And I don't feel too, he took my kitchen chairs that I'd put out in my building to redo. He took them and put them in the shooting houses. So now everybody that's sitting in my kitchen chairs I wanted to redo. But it's okay, I bought other ones. I'm not sour about it anymore. I am, but I'll get over it. Well, the last thing you do is put the door on, right? Because everything's got to settle, and when you put that door on, you want it to have settled, and you want it to have kind of broken in, so that when you put the door on, hopefully you won't have to rehang it, in the next couple months. Hopefully it's settled enough to where, okay, that's where it's going to need to be, and it's going to be fine. Well, they were waiting on putting the door on this one. And they had to hurry up and do it because stupid bear would go in there. And what would he do? He'd go in there and slide open the window like he needed a breeze. He didn't break the window. He slid it open. I'm not sure I could have figured it out as well. I have moments. I tell y'all think I'm smart and I'm educated. Those are two very separate things. It would have taken me probably longer to figure out, oh, it slides that way than it did the bear. So they were like, we got to put this goddamn door on this thing so he can't get in. So they started out with just a door with just a big, heavy-duty knob on it. Nope, didn't work. So we had to go back to the old cabin style of when you leave, you pull the wire through the wall to pull down the piece of wood into the slot on the inside. And on the outside, you put another one into the slots. And then when you get there, you take the one on the outside out of the slots, and then you stick a piece of metal like a chainsaw file or something about that size, and you pop the one on the inside off so you can get in. Yeah, a little bit more intricate even, to get into your own space. But, it's like it should work, right? It should work, right? No. Now, he didn't mess the door up. He just somehow got the one out of the rest on the front and somehow got the inside one popped and had it open. Not a clue. Although the other day on the news, somewhere it was on YouTube, there was a bear that got caught. They were chasing it, and it ran and put itself in like a car lot, a salvage lot. And I was like, you stupid bear, why did you run into a fenced area, you idiot? Most bears are smarter than that. Well, because he knew where he was going. He went to the garden hose, turned on the garden hose, turned on the water, then turned on the garden hose and got himself a drink. Then he turned it back off. And then he opened the window and let himself out the other way. He went in a window and opened a window, and he was no longer in the salvage lot. He went out the front, and the people were still looking for him in the salvage lot. They're not supposed to know how to do these things. They're not. They're really not. Honestly, they're not supposed to be that smart. Now, I have seen a lot of changes in animals over my lifetime. Also, I would like to say on this day, I was vindicated. All these men that have on the internet fussed with me going, the gray wolf has not bred down south, you stupid, blah, 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 blah. Because I've been talking about how big our coyotes are. And I'm like, they're not all bred with domestic dog, y'all, because they're not. Because the markers they're kicking, when I send stuff in, for the UT biologist at the University of Tennessee to tell me they're not kicking domestic dog markers. They won't tell me what they're kicking, but they say, no, it's not domestic dog, Elizabeth. And I'm like, okay, it's not domestic dog. Just, keep it to yourself then, I guess. Well, they finally have figured it out. And of course, they come out, these men come out and we have finally figured out what has been making coyotes routinely 45 to 60 pounds. Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be like 26 to 35, around through that normally. But y'all been seeing some of the coyotes that David gets during trapping season. Y'all see what we deal with. And that's, we've been worried. We're going, they're not supposed to be this big. And then I've been saying they've been getting that big scruff on the back of their neck right here. This lion's mane kind of tuft. That's a sign of a gray wolf. That doesn't happen for coyotes or domestic dogs, really. So I've been like, okay, well, the gray wolf has been breeding down farther than they thought. Oh, no, you stupid woman. You're not even in the gray wolf's territory. Blah, 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 blah. And I just roll my eyes and let the men talk because, for 5 seconds they need to be right about something. Well, the scientists came out, and guess what? Yeah, it's the gray wolf. They don't know how, where, why it started. But someone, got a little friendly somewhere, and they said, "Hey, let's mix our DNA." And just every once in a while to screw the humans up, let's throw a little bit of domestic dog in there, and let's just make them wonder what's going on. I never wondered. I knew exactly what was going on. And I was going to take them 25, 30 years to figure it out. No, it took me literally about two, maybe three trapping seasons of handling these animals that David brings in, going, well, that ain't quite right. Look at the way his paws are. Look at the back of his neck. Look at how long his muzzle is. Look at his ear set. Something ain't right there. Yeah, you got to know, though, I did taxidermy for a long time. So these were parts of the animal that I had to pay a lot of attention to get it right when you would do anything taxidermy related. My brother is a big-time taxidermist. I learned a lot. And everywhere I talk about that, the men would roll their eyes. And, oh, here comes another woman with a theory. I was right. Watched a whole documentary on it last night. I was right. The gray wolf has bred down, and they're going to call them coy wolves now, just like they used to call them coy dogs. In the state of Tennessee, it's legal to have a coy dog, a coyote, anything. You can have a wolf, but you can't have a coyote. Hang on, I had a message. Finally, an answer, I know. It only took them how long? Men. Men. So, well, here comes, just wait for it. All the wildlife resource agencies will now create new laws and hunting seasons and fines and penalties. And, they're going to have a whole heyday with this, But I was right. They have been breeding down. And it is literally like 30+% of coyotes in our area now are genetically wolves. That's about how much that coyote is a wolf now, about 30-something%. Domestic dog kicking at about 8 to 12 max. So, and the reason why domestic dog and stuff is because lots of times, if a coyote will get like a female dog somewhere pregnant, coyotes will come back and kill those young. Because number one, they want everybody to come live in the den. They want the pups raised in the den. And if that female doesn't comply, then they're probably going to come back and kill those young, because those young will not be part of their clan. It's probably not anybody's pet dog. It's probably dogs also wandering the streets, But it also takes a female dog that will go and live and raise the pups with the den, because it takes the entire den. They all have a job. I guess, I don't know. Maybe they read Hillary Rodham Clinton's book, It Takes a Village. I don't know. But coyotes, they all rely on the den, and that's how they want the pups raised, in the den. And if the pups in any way challenge or don't follow the rules, they just nix them from the genetic pool. All these kids that have these traumatic memories of their female hamsters giving birth and then waking up and all the babies have been eaten like tater tots because the male was left in the cage and he saw them as, food competition. So he thought, we'll just nix that. It happens in all parts of nature. Black bear do the same thing. Big cats do the same thing. That's why when I hear a story about an animal that takes on another baby, it's like, wow, that was a really special moment. Because many, most of the time they don't do that. They want to eradicate any competition or any food competition or anything that might come into their family group that is not part of their actual family group. So, But these bear, man, these bear are getting too smart, y'all. They're getting too smart. They're getting kind of scary. They're now learning in my area where the parks are that people actually go and walk on and like take their strollers and their chihuahuas and they take their little Lululemon 20-minute walk. You know, I'm such a turd. Yeah, I could do with the Lululemon 20-minute walk myself. I just think you look stupid when you do it. If I leave the house to do something, I'm normally doing something where I'm putting on jeans and muck boots and going with Dave. And listen, I have leg day just from dragging around the muck boots because my legs are so weak nowadays. Listen, my leg day is muck boot day. But these bears have learned, this is an area that people frequent. And they're not paying attention. Hello, hello, hello. Is that Monica? Hi, Monica. And so these bear are, they're not even following. They're just laying in wait and watching the park for, several days at a time. They kind of pick their favorite victim, the smallest dog to cause the least amount of harm. And I don't know, maybe the chunkiest woman. I don't know. But they, the town down the hill from me has to put out on the sheriff's Facebook every morning. Once again, please, everyone, be on the lookout and stay away from this area, this park. We do have a large boar bear that has taken up residence here. He is known to stalk and attack. And after that, it says people, small dogs, and children. Please be safe and avoid this area. And I'm like, just at that point, get rid of the bear. Okay? He's learned too many tricks of the trade. Get rid of the bear. Sorry, oopsie, you got a little too knowledgeable there. Yogi, you need to go to heaven. Bye. But they're trying to be really nice to these bears, and I'm like, I don't know why, because they're just going to teach these tricks to everybody else. Just get rid of them. So we slow down the learning. But we've got 2 counties on either sides of us. Hey, Crystal. We got 2 counties on either side of us that have got warnings out for these huge boar bear that are already menacing the public. Now, normally bear do get menacing. Normally it's in the last of the year where they're doing their final fat push and they're trying to really put on those pounds. Because right now they're breeding and they normally get kind of stupid and they're really, it's all about the love and, their girlfriends. And, you normally can be out in the woods and not have to worry too much about a bear because he's worried about his woman, not you. And he might see you and go, I'm not worried about you right now because there's some tail over there and I'm chasing tail. Was that serendipitous? I can't say that. No, it's a long name. We'll just call you Sweets. I just gave you a nickname. So, you can be out, and have a run-in with a bear at around this time and know that he's actually in breeding mode, and unless you've interrupted his romantic encounter with his woman, he'll probably go, I'm busy. And you just both go your own way. But now, these bears are being a little bit early during a time when they normally don't pay attention. They're not really worried about their favorite roots or maybe, going through some trash can, a roadkill meal or two. But they're not aggressively putting on weight because right now they're in mode. Okay, they get a little stupid, they get a little derpy, and you can get away with some stuff, with bear around that time. You can kind of go, oops, sorry, I'm going to my girlfriend, so not anymore. Nope, not anymore. They're angry already. And I've never seen bear this angry this early. Normally they turn kind of in the rogue. I need to put on weight, get out of my way. I'm devouring everything. They get in that mode. like linebacker, going to eat everybody out of house and home. They do that in the fall, and that's when you really have to watch out because they want to devour anything, even you. Was that, we got Charlie. I thought it said Clarity. Charlie and Clarity, where my eyes messed up, looked so much the same. Where's Margaret? Has Margaret been in here? I miss Margaret. I haven't seen Margaret lately. I miss Margaret's shenanigans. If anybody sees Margaret, tell her I miss her shenanigans. She needs to come shenan again. I'm blind, y'all. I'm blind. I want also, I mailed Charlie a kitty cat. She named him Fudge because he was brown. Which makes me wonder what I would have named him if I had to name a brown cat. He was cute though. But what would I have named him? There's no telling. Anyway, back to the bear. The bear are just, they're mad. They're mad already. They normally don't get mad till around, I don't know, September, October. Because right now they're all in love. You know, we're finding us women. We're making us some babies, and, you know, we're saying, hey, you know, you wanna go to your dinner, mine tonight. That's funny. But they're mad already. They're mad. And I'm sitting here going, this is not normal, nor is it normal for them to let themselves in windows to turn on garden hoses and then to work the hose because the hose had a squeeze hose, had a, you know, so he turned on the water, then he had to squeeze the thing so the water came out. And then he turned the faucet back off. The bear turned the water back off. Then he opened the window, went through the store, opened another window so he could get out of, because he was in the back area that was fenced in, to get out the front of the store where he knew there was no fence. How freaking smart do you have to be? Was Margaret in here? I miss Margaret. I don't always catch her. Of course, I'm half blind now, so, you know, I've got to go have my eyes checked. I'm fussing with my insurance. I have Graves' disease, but they're like, we're not sure if we're going to cover the entire, oh, really? Well, I'm just going to go blind while you figure it out then. I'm one of those people. I split my yarn again. Dang it. So anyway, bears doing abnormal things. Weird things. I will tell you about my brother's hunt. He went to Canada to bear hunt. I don't know why my brother likes to go to Canada to bear hunt. We got plenty of bear here that he can hunt every year. I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't compute. I'm like, we got so many bear here. Matthew, why are you going? I think it's because I'm a big hunting man. And that's just like the next thing on the roster. Oh, did you? Lord, I am so technologically impaired. He's just technologically impaired. What's that from? Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to be worried. Oh my gosh. Is that Amish Paradise? Anyway, my brother likes to go to, my brother likes to go to Canada to bear hunt. To each his own, but I'm sitting here thinking, we got plenty here. Why do you have to put, 2,500 miles on your vehicle one way? And I don't get it. Because we got bear here. But he is in his golden years hunting era, and he wants a blonde Canadian bear. Now that's like, listen, that's like most men wanting Lady Gaga to fall in love with him. That's the chances my brother has of getting that. Am I gonna pop his perpetual balloon? No, I'm not. That's his dream. Let him have it. It ain't gonna happen, but let him have it. I was always the realist in the family. Now my dad likes to go with him too. And then this last year, Dad will always go with him because Dad is like at the bunkhouse. Dad is the comedian, and the cook half the time. So Dad likes to go. Now last year, Dad harvested a bear, and now there's a new bear jumping out of the wall at Mom and Dad's that I'm going to break my nose on at some point because I forget it's there. I'm taxidermy blind because I'm so used to taxidermy. Just wait, me and it will have a fight, and I'll come back with a black eye and a broken nose. Then stupid bear won. But he had to mount it jumping out of the wall with an open mouth. Well, of course, my brother did the taxidermy work, so that's why he went gung ho and had everything done. Howdy, howdy. Is that Tracy? Howdy, howdy. But my brother goes up there and hunts. And even the bear up there that are hunted much different. Up there, you can hunt over bait. They've got way too many bear. They're trying to adequately keep the numbers down. You can hunt over bait. And this one big old boar come in. I don't think he was super big boar, but I guess for that area, he was a decent sized bear. I don't know. I see the ones around here on the trail cams that they have the big Shaniqua shelf on their butt, which tells me they're old enough, wise enough, and mean enough to know how to get food when food's very scarce. And I don't need to play with him because he's smart. That's how I identify a bear. If they've got that extra shelf on their hind end, don't play with that bear. He's been here a long time, and he knows where to find food when nobody else does. And you might just be dinner, so don't play with that bear. He's smart. But anyway, my brother harvested a bear, shot the bear, made a great shot. And of course, after the shot, they normally jump and flee. This bear, of course, my brother was in a ground blind, and stealth is his middle name. It ran right smack in his ground blind. Ran right over the man that shot him. Maybe it was his last-ditch effort to say, hey, bud, that wasn't nice. I don't know. He got it on film. It was funny. No, I didn't find out if he was okay before I thought it was funny. I just thought it was funny. But he was okay. Can I call you Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones. Does anybody remember that? Indiana Jones, Mr. Jones. So anyway, thought that was funny. That gave him a heart palpitation, I am sure. Like that stupid one that charged. Listen, I only went during archery season because they only give us 2 gun days, and everybody and their grandpa's out on the rifle days, and so I went because I'm old and decrepit now, and I have a crossbow. I have an Excalibur crossbow. It's very nice, very heavy, but very nice. It's got scope on it. It's very nice. It's very nice. But you can't have a centerfire weapon on archery hunt. Now you can have your personal pistol and stuff. So I keep my 9mm on me, but you can't have a centerfire rifle. So we were watching. We've been out for a few hours. Me and Dave have been out for a few hours. And this mama had come through with her cubs. 3 cubs. I don't know if she'd picked up an extra or she just was lucky enough to have 3. I don't know. And we were watching them play because you can't harvest a mama with cubs, And so we were just enjoying watching the cubs play because they were playing on it. There's in this old farm had a lot of old little places, and they also had oil wells back in there back in the day. So there's a lot of jungle gym stuff for these, little bear to play on. And we were just watching the bear play. It was kind of funny. We were in a well-made brush blind that David had put up for us. And we were watching them just play, and they would just do the stupid. Hey, little bears do the stupidest things, and it's just cute as it can be. I get to sit and watch them all day. And Mom was just sitting there hurry up, get your energy out, and you could tell she was doing the mama voice. 15 more minutes and we're going home, but just here, totally understood, you could read her face. I understood her. I've done the same thing at the public parks. Run amok, get your energy out, and we're going home. All of a sudden, she goes, shh, and I'm going, oh crap. The wind had shifted, which had been in our favor the entire time. But there was a little bitty storm brewing. And y'all know I live on the T-top of the plateau, where when the wind swirls, nothing stops it from coming right back around. And she sending us. She winded us. And she starts getting real animated, real like, I know you're here. Where the crap are you? And she starts telling them, talking to them babies, and they're like, oh crap, get in line. Mom says we're in danger. And I'm like, oh gosh, because I was enjoying watching them. What does the little flipping thing do? Does she just take them off into the woods? Heck no, she starts running straight at us. Okay, that was pleasant. I was like, okay, that's nice. And of course, I've got this gigantic crossbow, so I pull it up because I'm watching her. And here she comes, just eloping. She had the prettiest tan face on her. I will never forget her pretty tan face that feathered out, and she had little tufts that feathered out into it. She had it in my head, even though she was running straight at me. I was going, that would be a very pretty bear mount on the wall, because that's just who I am. And David's going, she ain't diverting. She's coming straight for us. I said, I know. She smelled us. And he goes, you got a beat on her? I said, yeah, but the way she's running. I said, and then, it takes goddamn 30 seconds to, reload the freaking crossbow. Anybody, you have to step on the darn thing. I mean, you got a tool to pull it. They're not made for ease of use. I said, I ain't gonna shoot her unless she gets, keeps getting right up on us, and I have to, and I can get a shot that, I won't miss. And I said, if something does happen, because I had on a shoulder harness, I said, my 9mm hanging closest to you, grab it. And I was still kind of behind part of the brush, but I was just barely over it with this crossbow, so I had my scope on her, and I was watching her, and doggone it, she was licking, sitting, running. She was running straight at us because she smelled us, and she was not in a happy mood. And so she kept getting closer. And when she got close enough, I thought, okay, either we're going to have a showdown or I'm going to have to pop her. And I really don't want to pop her because her babies probably would have made it, but, they were too young. I didn't want to have to do that. Had a decision to make. So, in all my born days, and I've been out in the woods, I've always been able, even with big old hogs and everything else, to booger stuff down. So I'm standing up, and I'm still got my crossbow on her, and I go, boom, boom. Well, she goes, ah! And barks. She barks at her cubs, and they deviate left into the forest. And David goes, really? And I said, well, I didn't want to get run over and then possibly ate. Okay, so I said, and I didn't want to have to shoot her. I said, she's got babies on her. Well, then she goes off in the woods and she's got her baby safe. And then she turns into the most hateful heifer of, I could have killed you. And what that sounds like when a bear goes into the woods, exit stage left, and they're safe and they know you're no longer a threat to them, they start going, and you're just like, she just would not shut up. And I finally was like, shut up, I'll be back rifle season, heifer. And David's like, are you really talking to her? And I'm like, yes, she's sassing me. I said, she's cussing me out right now. And he said, how do you know? I said, I know. And she was throwing brush and making a big show of it. And of course, then I start, doing the same thing. I think I confused her. But I was like, if you're going to cut a shine, I'm going to cut a shine. And then I looked at David. I said, well, this hunting's over because she's done told everybody in a 20-mile radius that we're here. So let's just go home. That was not a very fun moment. I did not like having a black bear full tilt run at me. Everything does kind of go in slow motion there for a little while in your head when those things happen. But it worked out for the best. I have not seen her since, and to my knowledge, no one has harvested her because it would have come off that big farm, and they would have, seen who had harvested her. They would have pictures and stuff. I haven't seen her. I don't know if she moved on and decided that the lady that spoke her language was too scary and she needed to move, or if she took me serious and said, I'd get you on rifle season. I don't know. She never came back around, so I didn't get her. And last year, they was just, the weather was, it I was not going to get out in it to hunt. I'm sorry. I'm old domesticated. I went back now. When I was younger, I did, yeah, fine. But no, I'm old domesticated now. So, but these animals are getting too smart. But listen, here's I say all of this and give you these examples to tell you, people are getting plumb stupid. So while we're watching these animals grow and learn to evolve and help each other in strange ways and learn how to use man-made items for their benefit, we're also at the same time watching humanity not fill reservoirs meant to save cities from fire. Cull how much of their own population because laziness. Laziness and parenting doesn't quite seem the thing that that young women want to do these days. We see people judge people from 20 something years ago when, well, MTV, he was a crook on MTV. You do realize that was scripted reality. We know who he is. No, you know who MTV wrote him to be. And if you were young and MTV was doing a show, MTV, which was, the end all be all of teen and young adults television. I don't know. Most of the time I didn't have cable, so I don't know. You would have been on that show too. You would have wanted to have been cast too. You would have thought you were special too. You would have played the evil booger butt too. Obviously, he's not that bad because they've stayed married for how long? Got a bunch of kids, seem pretty happy. But now something very real happened to him. And now that he's speaking on real issues, people are still trying to see him as a reality TV star. They're like, oh, he's pulling one over on our eyes. This is what he done to Lauren in season blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there going, really? You held on to that? Really? So anyway, I don't have a lot of hope when it comes to, the human race. Y'all were getting stupid and the animals were getting way smarter than us. Listen. You ever have an hour for lunch and you don't want to go in somewhere? Just get you something, eat it in your vehicle. Park slightly off to the side of a parking lot that's very busy and just watch the mayhem. Okay, you're going to see people that, bless their hearts, have to talk themselves into going into a grocery store. You can go on YouTube at any moment and look up immersion therapy. Now listen, number one, let me tell you what immersion therapy is. Immersion therapy is a very controlled type of therapy where you're trying to handle something that is so horribly terrifying to you that you cannot breathe, you shut down, you can't function. It stops your daily life. It inhibits you, and without this skill, you would not be able to take care of yourself, and it would do great harm to you. That's when immersion therapy is used. But if you go on YouTube and type in immersion therapy, you're going to see 19, 20-year-olds. Today we're at the grocery store for my immersion therapy. Grocery stores really make me terrified and they bring me anxiety, and I've got to start doing immersion therapy. No, honey, you don't. This is not immersion therapy. Okay, this is called being a freaking adult. It sucks sometimes. You have to be around people you don't like to be around. You have to do things you don't like to do. You have to give your money away. That ain't fun. But you need to stop diagnosing yourself. And you need to stop thinking that being scared of a grocery store is the same as someone who has gone through a true traumatic hellscape and requires immersion therapy to function. Makes me so mad. Because there are people sitting at home that have had real horrible life events. And now what they're doing to overcome this massive problem that has probably left them a very unhappy, agoraphobic in a very tiny apartment. They're watching these younger people make fun and almost poke fun at what they're trying to do to save their life. It irritates the crap out of me. Honey, you don't need immersion therapy to go to the grocery store. You just need to be hungry. There you go. I figured it out for you, right? Yep. You don't need immersion therapy to go to Walgreens. You just probably need tampons, and you'll go. It's not going to cost you anything emotional. It's not going to put you in a frame of mind that can make you cause harm to yourself or others. No, you just need tampons. Go to Walgreens. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, you got cramps? No. Okay. The Haagen Dazs they're in the coolers at the grocery store. You're fine. You'll be fine. It's not immersion therapy. It's a need that surpasses a small physical rebuttal, but that you can just completely put to the side and continue because logically, you need to do it. People that need immersion therapy, even though logically they know they need to do it, they can't. They can't because of the dysfunction that whatever event has created in their body and their mind. It can't occur, and they work sometimes for years to overcome whatever created that. And I see these people making fun of what these people are going through all the time on YouTube, and I'm like, that's not freaking immersion therapy. That's you being a lazy cuss and not wanting to go to the grocery store. But in last week's vlog, we went to 5 stores, 2 7-Elevens, had 3 big gulps. Don't tell me you need immersion therapy to go to the grocery store. Okay. Now, he has to have, this is just the top. I have to then layer on each curly Q, but this is the top of his head, okay? And then now that gives us a solid base. So then I start to chain all the other and curly Q, sew them, I've got the hiccups, hand stitch them all on. Is it fun? No, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. The hair takes the most time of anything that I do. But I'm not going to leave Biscuits bald because everybody leaves Biscuits bald. Biscuits doesn't deserve to be bald. That's his neck. Actually, that will actually go back up in there like this. The neck structure on this pattern is actually really awesome because it doubles back in like this, and it makes a very strong attachment for the body. And it allows the head to move in certain ways, but still also be on there. Really good. Get in there. Go on. Get in there. Sorry, Biscuits. It's necessary or I would do it. Okay. So right now he kind of looks like Walter White, but so I'll have to sew this on. This will be the base, and then I'll start adding the there. Then I'll start adding the sideburns and shaping his face because we want to keep that thinner Biscuit's face. And he does have like those little dimples right there in the front, so we want to keep those. But that'll be the top. I'll sew it on, and then I'll make the back, and then I'll do the individual chains. I chain 15 to 21, and then I cut them, leave them long straight, and I sew them in little swirls so it looks like a hair pattern. And I have to do dozens of those to cover the head to make it look like real hair. It's a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. What it is. It is what it is. I have seen a lot of beads for the new Booma dolls, and I've seen a lot of the bead color patterns. And I noticed that one of the color patterns' names was Allison. Which, of course, cracked me up because I'm trying to find something to do with this Biscuits doll to tip my hat to Allison. And I'm having a hard time of thinking of something that I can actually make that won't like overwhelm me or the doll, that I can make that would be a nod to Allison. Because I'm not going to make a whole nother doll. I'm sorry, Allison, but you're just not that important to me. Won't you come after me now? But I'm trying to find a way to, just give a little bit of a nod to Allison. The whole Allison debacle with Biscuits has been, funny. And I've been trying to think of some way just to, just for the people that are in the know to see that and go, ha, 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 that's funny. Having a really hard time. So if you have any suggestions, put them in a comment on any video. I'll read all my comments that, show up on the videos. Put them in there. I'll read it. And, hey, listen, if it works, hallelujah, thank you. I might even be nice and send you out a thank you. Make you a little tiny something as a thank you. But I cannot find a way to nod Allison into this make. I'm having a really hard time. I'm trying. I'm thinking, and maybe it's just because I don't particularly care for Allison. I'm having a hard time trying to find a way to link her into this. I think it would be hilarious, and I think it would probably make Biscuits just roll his eyes at least 2 more times back in his head at me. Which is really what I'm going for. I love you, Biscuits, but it's really what I'm going for. So, if anybody's got any really neat ways to kind of give Allison a nod, let me know. Maybe he needs a little suitcase that says Allison or best. Oh, do you know how much those glasses cost? No, I'm not probably going to buy a suitcase. I might find a Barbie one and paint it, but I ain't going to buy a little miniature suitcase. The glasses was enough. I had to buy a pack of 10 glasses to get a pack that had black ones. And I had to measure to get the correct ones so I knew it would fit his face. I've turned into a woman that scours the internet to find fake glasses for little dolls. It surprises no one more than it surprises me. Not something I ever thought I'd be doing. Not at all. That surprises me more than people saying the aliens are real. Speaking of which, I still have had no Tupperware sales. Nobody wanted to talk to me about my car's extended warranty. I'm beginning to think they don't care about me. Maybe they work for Walmart. Hey, listen. That was funny. I don't care who you are. If you visit my channel enough, that was funny. That was what we call trussing up the hog. Oh, but you can get 3 or 4 more jokes in there and tie them all up together. That was nice. My hand is better. Instead of being all red now, it's turning like a bruisey gray purple. It's hard to tell with these lights on it. When I do dishes and stuff, it still looks real bad. And you can feel all the stings. I can correctly count 7, but I think there's probably more. But when I do dishes, it like puffs up and hives out up to here. It's getting better though. It's getting better. I made David the best dinner last night. He looked at me like I was a crazy woman. Okay, let me tell you about this. Because food has become, when your husband loses 45 pounds and the doctor is like, congratulations, but now you're diabetic. How in the heck did that happen? He lost 45 pounds because of my Mediterranean diet. So I had to revamp everything I ever do. So I got the prettiest cucumbers. And I made cucumber boats. Y'all know what cucumber boats are? Yeah, you slice them in half and you haul them out from the seeds. Then, in the cucumber boats, you mix shredded chicken. I cooked mine in a crock pot, and then I shredded it. How did I shred it? With a hand mixer, because I don't have anything special to shred. I just put my hand mixer in there and whing, send it to the Lord, and somehow it comes back shredded and ready for me to use. I put onions in it, green bell peppers in it. He likes green bell peppers. A little bit of garlic, put a lot of seasons, a little bit of dill, plain Greek yogurt, a little bit of lemon and lime juice in there, a little bit of avocado. I got a little creative. Might have put some more stuff in that. Anyway, made a nice little mix that kind of stuck together. Put a little bit of cheese in there. It just kind of stuck together real good. So you then fill your little cucumber boats with this mixture. And then on top, you add just a little bit of sweet potato. What I do is I just cook my sweet potatoes and then I just smash them. And I just put a little smashed sweet potato on top. And, and I had edamame in there. I had edamame in the mixture too. He looked at me and goes, "What is this?" I said, the things that you constantly are mad that people plant in the area because it feeds the deer and the deer don't come to your food plots. That's a soybean. Yeah. I mean, he would have won Jeopardy with that question because, I thought I kind of made that a little mysterious, but he got it in 5 seconds. He's ate soybeans before, but never in that form. He thought it was a sugar snap pea, and I said, "No, honey, it's not." So he had edamame for the first time that I've told him that it was in a form he could tell he was eating something new. We'll say that. I don't always tell him what I feed him. But he had it in the mixture as well. It was really good. It was really, 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 really good. And, had my doubts about it, but it was, I've got one sitting in there for lunch. It's calling my name. Pretty doggone good. And then for his dessert, I blitzed a triple berry mixture, frozen triple berries, because I'm not fighting the bear for the wild berries, because everybody's coming across bear. Now, his mom and dad did send us home some berries, but I made those into dumplings real quick, so I had to go with frozen berries. That's okay, they blitz better. So I blitzed some frozen berries. And then I got some whipped cream. If honestly, people, just whip your cream. Don't pay somebody else to whip your cream and put stuff in there that don't need. Just whip your cream. You don't even really have to put anything sweet in it because you're going to put berries in it. If you want to put something sweet in it, put some monk fruit sweetener in it. But honestly, you don't need it because you're blitzing the berries to go in the cream, so it's going to be sweet anyway. And then get you some non-fat Greek vanilla yogurt and layer that puppy up. That's good. He ate that for his dessert. That was good. He could have ate the whole bowl and not hurt him at all. He's getting much better with his desserts. So I'm proud of him. He's not giving me any crap when I'm like, that's what you're eating. So he's not giving me any crap. He's doing a lot better. He has dropped 2 sizes in breeches, and so he's in the last hole of all his belts, so I had to go get my leather punch, which I only had ever used for saddles and arts and crafts, but I used it to punch a hole in his belt. And I've had that leather punch since I was like 18. First time I've ever really used it on a belt. I've always used it on tack or arts and crafts. Weird, I know. But he is now in the last of all of his belts, to the point where his belt that I had made for him, because his brother is a little bit smaller than him, and then our son, those were the 3 waters. They were always together. So it was big waters, medium waters, and little waters. And I had them all I had them all belts made for Christmas one year. Big waters, medium waters, small, little waters, little waters. And like my son wore his until he grew out of it. I didn't make him another one because at that he was at that age that he didn't want one then. But David has had this belt for well, the guy that made all my belts and all my tack, he passed away from bone cancer. So he'd had that belt for 20 years, probably. And now, instead of it being centered on the back, where it says Big Waters, it's askew all the way around. And I'm like, man, who am I going to get to make another one? Because, my leather guy passed away many years ago, and I think Mr. Bowman at the leather shop might do it, but I don't know what he's going to charge me because my leather guy was like family, and so he was really, really inexpensive. But I may have to make a trip to Muddy Pond to see Mr. Bowman and be like, listen, don't ask questions. I just need a belt that says Big Waters. Because when I met Dave, they all called him Big Dave or Brother Dave or Big Waters. Because he and his brother looked so much alike, they would delineate them with big and little. But then when my son came along, he was little. So big, medium, little. There, you found that was the most boring story I've ever shared with y'all. That was it. So now I've got to find a new leather tooler. That's going to be fun. Guess I'll have to do my immersion therapy into the leather shops. That was just me being a turd. Sorry. I don't mind going to Amish land and looking. I really enjoy seeing Mr. Bowman. He's lost his wife, so he's a little bit more apt to talk a little bit longer now because he is lonely. So I like to see him chew the fat, look at some of the new saddles, even though I'll never buy another saddle and own another. I miss my horse days, y'all. I miss my horse days when my butt was half this size and my ego was 15 times this size. But those days are gone for me. My disorder will never allow them to occur again. But we'll figure it out. I'll figure out David's belt situation. Because it has to be a nice one. Because I've always had really nice belts made. This looks like a toboggan, but it is your hair base. Biscuits. Biscuits hair base. So if anybody personally knows Biscuits, please tell him I have started on his hair. I've got to even out his goatee. We've got some work to do, Biscuits. I've got to even out his goatee. Now, this Biscuits is going to Sabrina. Sabrina has claimed this Biscuits. And I'm going to have to give him ears, too, because how else is he going to hold his freaking glasses on, man? So I'm going to have to give him ears. Have I ever made ears on a doll? Heck no, but yes, we're going to have to. Have I ever made ears on a doll? I don't think I have. I mean, animals don't count. I don't think I ever have. So Biscuits is going to have some ears to keep his glasses on. Or I'm going to have to put a stitch there, but I want him to be able to come off and on. I don't know. I'm going to have to even this out a little bit right there, though, because it's up higher here. This is where I drive myself batty when I look at stuff and I'm like, I've got to even that out. That didn't turn out right. So then I spend 5,000 years doing that. So I'm working on Biscuits, but I'm also working on Monica's doll, which is another hippie boomer. When I get one of these done, I'll open up another slot for the next one that somebody wants. But I can only do 2 at a time because I don't want to get behind. I have like a certain amount of days to make them. In Etsy, once somebody purchases them on David's Etsy, I have a certain amount of days to make them. And it's enough for me to do them if I keep myself to 2, even if I have a day or 2 where my hands I have a migraine. I have enough days to do that. If I were to try more than 2, I'm afraid I would screw something up, and I don't want to do that because David's got such great reviews on his Etsy. I don't want to screw it up. So, and I got in another 6 or 9 pack of the flesh colored cotton So, yay for me. Maybe they won't ever discontinue that yarn like they do everything else. But once I get the hair, the head, and all that done, the body and the clothes are really easy. They come pretty natural. By the time I start making stuff, making the body and stuff, I've already thought, okay, well, obviously Biscuits is gonna have on shoes because I can't see Biscuits in flip flops, so he's gonna have on shoes. He's gonna have on regular, probably denim looking pants, and I'm thinking about making him a button down with a collar. Have I ever crocheted a button down with a collar? No. Can it be very much more difficult than some of the other stuff I've made? Probably not. So we're gonna try to do a button down with a collar. Now, when I say button down with a collar, it's going to be a button down, but the button down is actually going to be where I sew it together. Is that what's going to look like the buttons? Because I'm not buying tiny, minuscule buttons. And it ain't, no. No. I stopped there. No. That would take like tweezers and needles that I don't have and jewelers, glasses. No, I ain't doing that. But I will use a color opposite on the color wheel that the shirt is made out of, so that when I stitch the shirt together, it looks like buttons. Okay, probably we'll do a French knot, embroidery French knot to make it look like a button. There you go. See, my mama taught me lots of stuff. I paid attention. Now I could probably hitch up a 6-horse team because I paid a lot more attention to my grandpa. But my mom taught me stuff and I did pay attention. Hence, I make dolls now. My mama made dolls for a long, long time. Different dolls, but she made dolls. I don't know. He's kind of cute, isn't he? Biscuits is going to look... I think Biscuits is going to be cute. Right now, his hair is not giving Biscuits hair, but when I get it right and soften the edges up, it'll be perfect. So, he's cute. He's going to be cute. And he has to be skinnier. He has to be skinnier than Boomer. So, I might have to augment the body shape a little bit. And he's going to have to be taller. So, I gotta augment all that. So, tall order. Sabrina's giving me a tall order when she wanted this doll. So, I'm like, okay, I do it. I do it. May have nightmares about it while I'm trying to do it, but I'll do it. I guess I could probably go ahead and sew this on. Right. I have on the cutest dress today. It's got little flounces that goes down into a V, and then it flounces them, and it's got an open V in the back, I guess, so you can get odd colored sunburns. I mean, that's the only reason I think they would do that. I mean, I don't think that women, would be like, oh, yes, I must show that part of my skin. I think that, some marketing genius just said, let's make women burn a patch of their back, and then they'll have to all go to the tanning beds to even it out. No, I won't. I'll just have a very strange sunburn all summer. And people go, what happened? I wore a dress that had an open back. Although I think it's a very pretty dress. Where are my needles? There they are. Sorry, had a moment there. So everybody's like, how long do these dolls take? A long time. Please don't drop on me. Go back in the needle thing. Get in there. No, go back in there. Thank you. They take a long time. It's a lot of tiny, meticulous work. But it's okay. That took way too much concentration. It's okay. People smile. I make people laugh. I bring them joy. So I will make dolls. I will make dolls. I am putting beads on the new Booma dolls. Yeah, see, you understand. Hey, listen, when you have to reload them freaking crossbows, buddy, listen, it's a whole It's a whole production. It is, isn't it? It's a whole production. Doggone it, it is. Turkey called to the rescue. It was Sassy Bear back chatting. As if to say, I could have eat you, but I let you go. And I'm like, you couldn't freaking eat me. You choke on me. But then I had to Sassy Bear back chat her too. And I was like, shut up, heifer. Because that's who I am in the woods. I don't care. Dad set me up in a tree stand one time overlooking a ridge, and then across the ridge there's a swag, and then he put my brother over there, thinking that if a deer was to come between us, sent one of us, at least one of us would get a chance when it run the other way. Smart man. But he put his son in the best spot. Dad, I know you did this. So I'm watching this big buck walk through an ivy thicket. All I can see is his rack bobbing. I can't see through the ivy to make a clean shot. Finally, he gets to the end of the ivy thicket, and I can see his nose, and he's licking, and he's scenting, and I'm like, oh, God, please don't scent me. Oh, God, please win. Oh, God, please. And he literally 2 more steps, and I could have had the most gorgeous buck of a lifetime. He scented me. He snorted, he stomped, and then he jumped the ridge. And my brother, who had a lever action 30-30, sounded like he had a semi-automatic. He got so excited. Of course, the deer basically jumped the ridge and about ran on top of him. So, he was a little excited. And I stood up in my tree stand, and I was like, that was my deer. I saw it first. To which he responded, well, I killed it, so shut up. And we were quite a ways apart, but we were loud children. Oh, well, we weren't children then. I was 12, 13. He was 16. Yeah, 15, 16. We weren't children at that point. And where was Dad? Walking a loop to push the deer. And he would always say, now don't shoot me. Dad, I don't plan on it. I can tell a great difference between you and a deer, I swear. And it was a very nice, it was a big 9-point, but it had a lot of web, like palmation in it. It was just a very nice older deer. It was a very nice older deer. Probably was a good harvest because in another year or two, he would have been getting old to where it would have been hard for him to maintain through the winter. Man, he was pretty. He was a pretty old, ruddy red to gray color. Oh, he's a pretty old man. He's pretty. He's almost mine. Sometimes having a brother is not fun. Especially when you have to tag team hunt in tree stands and ground blinds. And I always got put in the tree stand. And I'll have you know, the whole day I was in that tree stand, there was a squirrel that wanted me out of that tree stand. He got on a limb above me, and he peed on me like 5 times that day. And I thought, squirrel, if I don't get a deer by the time the day is over and you're still here, I'm blowing you to smithereens for peeing on me. There ain't going to be nothing left but poof. And at the end of the day, Dad came and got me, and he goes, what are you looking for? I said, the squirrel that's peed on me all day. He goes, why are you going to kill it? And I said, yes. He goes, get down, we're going home. But I was going to. It wasn't a threat, it was a promise. That squirrel knew to leave before I did. Peed all over me. I had to wash my flipping coat. And listen, you had to wash them coats in that UV and special stuff back then. It was expensive. So, you go home and tell Mama, honey, a squirrel peed all over me. I got to wash my jacket. And good Lord, Lisbeth, that's like $14 a load of laundry. Good Lord. Mom, I couldn't tell the squirrel to stop peeing. He doesn't speak English. I tried. Then it was a family event to butcher the animal. And and it took 5 shots from a lever action 30-30 for that deer to go down. Of course, he ran over the top of my brother. And I guess when he run over and just saw my brother right there, I guess in his mind it was just, okay, take the boy out, you know. But when we was hanging, we had him hung up in the oak tree and we was caping him out. I'll have you know, that poor guy had been, I don't know, attempted to be poached. So Matthew had ended up shooting him 5 times with a lever action 30-30 because he was charging Matthew straight on. Big deer, and I guess the first shot, when he saw who was shooting him, he just thought, just straight for him. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to take him too. But when we were caping him out, skinning him, we found a musket ball in his hip. So somebody had also pinged him during muzzleloader season, but somebody had been poaching him, and my grandpa's land hooked in with land that is now part of East Fork Stables, a big trail riding facility. I used to cut their base trails and do a lot of guiding for them because I grew up on the land and I knew the land. It goes to the river and I wasn't going to get lost, unlike all the adults they had. So for like 3 summers, I helped them kind of get that place up and going. Never got a thank you, but I always rode for free. But I'd say somebody had been poaching their fields over there. That's my synopsis of what I saw anyway, because he had a 22 bullet right crammed in the back of his cranium, stuck right there. We named that deer Lucky because he had apparently been through it all. And he was a nice buck. He's still on my brother's barn. My brother's had him. He mounted him, and he's had him his whole life. He's gone everywhere. Everywhere Matthew has lived, that deer has gone with him. That's his pride and joy. And a worm had worked into his antler in velvet, and there's a hole that goes in one of his main beams. So it's really neat deer. It's really neat deer. Somebody called me, hey, Miss Cojones. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, the self-diagnosis, the immersion therapy. Oh, my God, it irritates me. See, PTSD, people that have the real issues, that struggle, it irritates me when I see these young people that just haven't quite asked themselves the hard questions of, do you really have a problem, or are you just lazy? Is this just a way for you to be lazy and justify your laziness? Because on your other blogs, you're going to school, you're getting a dual degree education. You have a YouTube channel with like 700,000 subs. I don't think your problem is society and people. Just throwing it out there. I think maybe you just need attention, because people that really have that issue, they don't want people to know that they are trying to overcome it. They just want to quietly deal with it. And if they went about with it, they might tell their closest friends that, hey, I did this today. Woo, I did this today. But they're not going to get on the internet and share, them trying to overcome this, because to many of them, it's almost traumatizing, re-traumatizing to share that they're trying to fix themselves. Booma's in here. Booma, look, I've started giving him hair. This is a Walter White hairline. It's going to stay that way. I will. It's a really pretty light on me. Hey, look, I have no wrinkles. This will never happen again. Wow. Okay, sorry. I got took with myself. But I've got to sew I got to string 15 to 21 chains, and then I take them and put them in curly cues the way his hair would go to soften that up. And then I'm going to have to give the son of a biscuit eater, I can call him that because it's biscuits, going to have to give him ears so his flipping glasses can stay on. Didn't think about that when I ordered the glasses. But without ears, we have a problem. So he's going to have ears. Have I ever made ears? Not on people. But yeah, and then he has to be taller and skinnier. And I've got to fix and match this. I got a little carried away on this side of this Fu Manchu here, and I got to fix it over here. Yeah, I got to make sure that I keep his dimples and his face shape going the right way too. So right now he looks like that new rap guy, Professor G, Prof. Listen, it's not songs for everybody. Don't put children in the room. But if you want to listen to a song that made me literally almost roll off the bed laughing the other day, it was Kia Boy by just ask Google to play Kia Boy by Prof G, Professor G. I have a very bad sense of humor, but it about made me roll off bed laughing. I was laughing so hard. I was like, I better be careful. I'm gonna hurt myself. Cracked me. Don't let children listen to it. But if you need a laugh, listen to it. It was funny. But I think he's gonna be cute. Maybe some of the way. I think he's gonna be cute. Yes, I know. I had the light just perfect right then. It was just an ethereal glow. Biscuit might shed a tear. Butter my biscuit. He is going to be cute, though, isn't he? And I've got to do something with his eyebrows because he's got to have that slightly perturbed one higher than the other. Should I tell this person the truth or just go on with the game we're playing? You know, he's got to have that look that I can't do that because apparently I've never had Botox, but it don't work. But he needs that one that goes way up. It's like, should I ruin his day or should we just go on with the game? That's what I'm gonna have to do. So we're probably gonna have to do several attempts at eyebrows to get them right. I'm gonna try real hard though. I'm gonna try real hard. Feel like the close up of my thumb. Yeah, the eyebrows they're gonna be it's they're gonna be difficult. Well, they're gonna have to be just right. One of them's gonna have to be just slightly up. I don't have enough eyebrows. Ever since I got pepper sprayed, I have not been able to grow eyebrows back enough that I have to put stuff on the ones I have to make them show because literally the pepper spray burnt my eyebrows off. I was in the hospital for 5 days with chemical pneumonia and burns. Okay, it wasn't fun. It's very interesting though. Anything with capsaicin in it now it just sets me off. Woo. But I'm going to have to get his eyebrows right. You're out shopping and trying to watch me live. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Laugh right, break down on aisle 6. But he's got to have eyebrows. One's got to be slightly up. He's got to be doing the get off my lawn stare. That one, the Clint Eastwood. Yeah, that one. Does he have a unibrow? He doesn't have ears yet. Does he have a unibrow? There goes that lovely glow. How did I do that? Does he have a unibrow? I don't think he has a unibrow. Boomer, does he have a unibrow? Listen, I'd have a unibrow if I didn't pluck a few. I'm just here to tell you. Well, no, since I got pepper sprayed, I wouldn't. But before then, I would have. No, the vote is in. He does not have a unibrow. Although I could give him one. I can give him a unibrow and see what he said. I can make one that's just like a little Velcro piece to stick there, make him think it's real, and see what he would say, and then go, oh, see, I was just cheesing. He probably wouldn't have it. I know the glasses were it for me too. I saw them and I was like, I gotta have those. Put them in my cart now. I did 2 days shipping on these son of a thing. Listen, because I wanted to see them, and it was worth every penny. Had to buy like 10 pair to get one black pair, but it was worth every penny because look at that. Can you just see him saying Allison. I've got to find a way to bring Allison in on this. Maybe I need to like give his shoes like real tread on the bottom, and then on the bottom make him say like I love Allison, so that he won't notice it, but that whoever buys it, which Sabrina's the one that wants this one, so and she'll tip him up and his shoes say I love Allison. Listen, Easter eggs. And Boom, I'm sorry that you're gonna have to hear that. You might not like this, but I just sent one to my gosh, my brain just went bloop. The one that I just sent off to the lady. I gave him a crack and I blushed it and a belly button. Just because when I was doing the body, it was just like he should have a crack and a belly button. My mom used to make dolls and she gave him cracks and belly buttons and blushed him, so I blushed him. And then I blushed his feet and did all that. So I'm not quite sure, what this one's going to end up looking like. I'm thinking like a skinny Walter White. I'm going to have to be careful because he's going to have to stay thin, and I'm going to have to go back and watch a whole lot of Booma's Biscuits sagas. Guitars and violins. Do I need to buy him a little guitar? No, he does like violins. Maybe if I buy him a little tiny violin. Wait, I have one. I have little earrings that are fiddles because, listen, my papa played fiddle and I play fiddle. I think I'm pretty daggum sure and they'd be the perfect size for this doll. Holy crap. Listen, this is a culmination of the universe and God giving me a bazinga moment. And you can't tell me otherwise. I'm special right now. I swan upon my soul. I have fiddle earrings. That would be the perfect size for this. One's the fiddle, one's the bow. Y'all, if I still have those in my jewelry box, which I'm pretty sure I do, that's going to be flipping hilarious. Yes, every once in a while, God gives me a bazinga. I used to work with a lady at the DA's office in Scott County, Tennessee, and every time I knock on her door, I go knock, 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 because she'd know it was me. And we both watched that show, The Big Bang Theory, and I would knock and go knock, 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 and from the inside, she would finish it and go Penny, and that's how I knew I could enter. If she didn't say Penny, I couldn't enter. I could have done this outside today, but my porch got destroyed by the tornado. The winds off the tornado. And I've got my plants picked back up. And I thought I could sweep all that pot and soil off. But then I thought, nah, I'm going to have to replant some pothos that got broken, that I've got them in water. So I'm going to sweep up the pot and soil and start my little pothos in little tiny. So I'm being economical, and I haven't cleaned my porch the whole way. So that's why we're not doing a porch chat. He's incognito. I was looking for something to make him incognito. Nothing to see here. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Isn't it cute? Cheesecake. Y'all are actually getting rain. I think he's cute. I'm going to have to be careful how much I blush him. Well, because obviously. And I'm going to have to make sure I keep him thin. But now I'm going to have to start doing all the strings for the hair, which is going to be a pain in the start saying something else. So that'll take me a few hours, most of the rest of the day. So probably what I'm going to do is get up, walk, stretch, do a few things, and then I'll sit for an hour, work, and then I get up, walk, stretch, do a few things. So I have to break it up or I go crazy. But yeah, eyebrows, I've got to get through just the right Clint Eastwood eyebrow moment going. It's going to be difficult, but I'll make it work. I'll figure it out. And shape his face a little bit more. And fix the Fu Manchu that I got off. That's it. That's it. I can like put it in his hands that way when somebody whines. Sabrina could take us somewhere and people start whining. Biscuits cares this much. But I swear, I think I still have those. I swear I do. And I will totally offer them up. I will sacrifice my fiddle earrings for Biscuits doll. Yeah, I'm going to have one eyebrow just a little bit higher than the other. What makes it a fiddle is because I'm country. That's the only thing that makes it a fiddle. Are you playing classical music or Bull Them Cabbage Down? That's what makes it a fiddle. Oh, that's how you know. Okay, literally it took me that long to make his little faux scalp and put it on. Of course, I talked through the whole thing. These things take a while. The cat that I was going to do, we started it in blanket yarn. It's going to be too big. Drop my hook. This was going to be half of its head. I said, no, that's a Black Panther. We can't do that. So when I start over, he's going to have to be in worsted weight because I'm not making a cat that big. That'd be $40 in yarn, if not more. I ain't doing it. But it won't have the right shape. It won't look right. So I'm going to frog that and start over in worsted weight so that it looks more realistic. So I got a lot going on. And then I've also got the other Boomba doll started. I've got his noggin right here started. Got his noggin, and I'm down to his little pudgy cheeks right there. There's his little pudgy cheeks. So that's where I've got on the Boomba doll. So see, and I'm still doing my domestic goddess work. Okay, I'm still making all my dinners for my diabetic husband who has to eat all this special food. He's not dead yet. I'm doing a good job. And I have to clean my house, do my laundry. I did my floors the other day. I was very proud of myself because I did all my crochet and I did my floors. And I didn't, knock on wood, I haven't put myself in a flare doing all this stuff. Now, I did the upside of the house. Did I do the downside of the house? No, I didn't. No, because I did this. But I'll do it probably tomorrow. David has tomorrow off, so I will threaten him and say, "Don't you dare wear your boots in the house," and then I'll mop and do those floors down there. I've also been cleaning the mudroom, going through David's clothes because he's lost so much weight, donating a whole lot of it. Some of it the man has wore till it's threadbare, and I've been like, "Really? Why haven't you chucked these a long time ago, sir?" I keep a couple pair for patches because I'm a bumpkin. He has a mustache. Yeah, he's got a little goatee. He's got a little goatee going on. Goatee. I've been keeping a pretty good beat going, but now I've not been sleeping the best, and so that's gonna have to correct because I'm getting tired. But other than that, we are, I think I might go see the grandbabies here soon, which is 21 hours on the road there and back. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. When I walk in and I go, "Oh, there's my handsome babies," and they're like, "Nee." Just makes my heart melt. They're the only thing that can call me nee. I am Grisby. I'm Granny Isby. I'm Grisby. But their little mouths only say certain things right now. We'll get to the consonant clusters here very soon. I promise. But I've got to get Bluey and Bingo made. So probably what I'll do is crochet Bluey and Bingo in the car going down. Yeah, I could probably get both those done in 9 hours. Now, sewing everything on might be a little lethal with Dad's driving. My dad used to be a truck driver, so he's a very defensive driver. So you have to hang on to things when you're riding with my father. Um, that might be a little scary, but I think I could probably make those on the ride down there if I don't get car sick. Dramamine. Maybe it won't put me to sleep. If it doesn't put me to sleep, I'll get it done. Do they make what? I don't know. What is that? Margaret, you stumped me. I don't know what that is. Grandbabies are a gift from God. Monica, thanks for hanging out. Y'all just hang out with me. We just chew the fat. I do like eventually want to get back to what I'm making videos about important things where I'm saying important things. But sometimes I think we all just need to chit chat, hang around, and just talk with a friend and just kind of brain vomit. And you just one of those yeah girl and been there done that yeah boy yeah those help. It helps. Shoes. Oh, I think I'm just gonna give him brown loafers. He looks like a brown loafer man. Don't tell him this, but he looks like a brown loafer hush puppy man. Biscuits, if you're in here, don't hold that against me, but you look like a brown loafer hush puppy man. Possibly slightly orthopedic. That's not a bad thing. I like those shoes. I'm just saying. But he looks like a brown hush puppy man. Brown loafer hush puppy man. Sandals, then I have to make toes. I've never seen Biscuit's toes. I've never seen Booma's toes either. I just imagine that's what they look like. I ain't rotten head, y'all. Y'all come here and you think I'm smart. I'm like, no, I'm educated. Two very separate things. Oh, very separate things. Y'all, the blonde moments I can have are that, listen, they're vacuous. They just echo. Sometimes they go on for so long. And then I laugh about it because it's freaking funny. Oh, Lord. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he lives in a warmer climate, right? Because he's got the birds. And it sounds like he's like in a tropical Magnum PI. De plane. I just merged all those shows together. And they're not. But I did it in my brain, so it worked. Does he live somewhere like that? If anybody just understood that, bless your heart, you speak my language. Yeah. So I mean, but I would think he'd be more of like an Adidas slide guy, not a flip flop man. Oh no, we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to make a poll. They, Lord have mercy, I'm gonna make a poll about it all. When did life get here? Oh, what happened to me? When did this occur? First, it was the buffalo check, and it was the Cracker Barrel themed decor in the house. Then it was the fairy lights in the yard, and then it was the neuromuscular disorder and surgeries, and then it was we don't hog hunt anymore because that's too dangerous. You can't climb trees anymore, Elizabeth. You've got too fat. And now I'm making dolls. I mean, this is like, I've jumped so many hedges that I never thought I would. My name should be National Velvet. I'm amazed that I ended up here. Although, if you look at what my mom did her whole life and taught me, it kind of does make sense. Tuxedo saddle Oxfords. I know exactly what you mean by that. That would be a pain in the patukas to crochet, though. Unless I did an overlay. I have to think about these things. Because then I'm like, yarn. How long is that going to take? I don't want to spend 3 hours on shoes because I'm already spending 20 something hours on a doll. I don't know. We'll come with some. We're gonna do. Is that Clarity? Hi, Clarity. We're gonna do a poll on the community post section. I'll do it later today. We're gonna have like 3 or 4 different types of shoes. Whatever you think Biscuits would wear. Crocs would be easier. Does he wear Crocs? Booma. Does he wear Crocs? Phone a friend. Hey, Booma. I will actually, when I get to, I will text Booma and go, does he wear Crocs? And then I'll give you that little information. And then what we will do. Oh, he's still here. You highly doubt that. Why? Can he not sprint away from people? Is he in danger? Is he a secret agent? Man, what? I mean, doesn't everybody wear Crocs? I mean, my husband wears Crocs only because I threaten his life when he wears his boots in the house, so he has to take his boots off and put his Crocs on because they're his inside shoes. And maybe not all men have me to threaten them. I know, I'm thinking like Adidas slides or something, right? I mean, I was going to go with just like a brown loafer and put on the soles, I love Allison, just so, you know, there's a little Easter egg. But, well, tell me what kind of shoes you want then, since you're right here. Choose your clothes, Mr. Biscuits. Choose your clothes. I done bought you eyewear. Biscuits is in the house. He's in my house too. I'm fixing it. Look, that's a Walter White hairdo. This is just the underlay. I've got to go and put all the curly poppy pops on. So you're getting hair, bud. You're getting hair. But I can't figure out your shoes. And I can't figure out a way to put Allison in here either. Unless I like find a Barbie suitcase and paint it and then put I love Allison and then just make people think if you've got Allison in the suitcase. Just thinking, you know, that would be funny. Biscuits is going to be wearing a button-down, probably bluish color top with a dark pair of pants. That's already in my brain. It's embedded. You can't stop that. But I need to know what kind of shoes. We're going to have to do a poll. And then Biscuits, he can tell us if we got it wrong or not. Barefoot or boots. You sound like Al Blades. You used to wear what? I don't even know what that is, so it must have been real nice. Yes, I did good on the glasses. I did real good on the glasses, y'all. I was out looking for those glasses. The moment I saw them, I hit add to cart, buying 5 seconds or less. I was done. Transaction complete. Had to have them glasses. Fancy loafers. See, I didn't know what they was. Fancy loafers. Okay. So maybe a brown loafer. I think, see, in my head, it was like he was like a Hush Puppy loafer man. Which I know Hush Puppy doesn't sound fancy. But, you know, that's if somebody can wear a fine Italian loafer, and I'd be like, those are Hush Puppy loafers. Because I am from here. Well, okay, then we'll just do fancy. We'll just do some fancy loafers. Look, I'm getting that ethereal glow again. Okay, we'll do fancy loafers. I might even I don't know, make the top a different color than the sides. But I'm really thinking about making little bottoms, like getting I want to get a 3D print pen so bad you have no idea. Like, I'm trying to justify getting a 3D print pen, even if it's one of the kid version ones. I don't flip a care. I want one, and then I can like 3D print and keep layering it and make a sole for the shoe, so that I'd have a hard sole for the shoe. Like, I mean, you have a couple minutes to pat it down in here, and then on the bottom of the shoe, I could write in one of my mini markers, "I love Allison," and then it would be an Easter egg for Sabrina when she tipped him upside down to see on the bottom of the shoe it says "I love Allison." Although I really think a suitcase that said "I love Allison" would make people think if Allison was in the suitcase or not. Maybe some blonde hair stuck, you know, in the suitcase as it's closed. I'm just saying, you know, little weird, but we all think it's funny. And it's a compliment to Allison because it'd be a small suitcase and honey, she'd fit. So don't tell me I'm being mean to Allison. I'm not. That's a compliment. She would fit. Yes, I know. Yeah, I had to give you, this is just your base though. Now I have to go back and make it look natural. I'm going to give you very nice handle. I have to give you ears too because how is your glasses going to stay on? So we're going to have to figure out ears. The things I'm doing for a Biscuits doll that I don't even get to keep. Sabrina has claimed him, so you're going to Sabrina. I don't know if you're going to be displayed with her gems raw. I don't know what she's going to do. I will make sure that she does not let Bjorn play with you because Bjorn would tear you to bits. But Sabrina has claimed you, so you're going to go live with Sabrina. You will be cute when I get done with you, though. I mean, I think you look kind of cute right now, but this hairline is not. Jimmy Houston. I feel like I want to go fishing so bad right now. I can't see straight. Jimmy Houston hairdo. We'll fix it, though. I'll get it right. No. We don't have to develop feelings, you know, just to put her in the suitcase. It is hairline engineering. It takes me a long time to do this crap, man. I'll be sitting here sometimes for 6 hours, and I'll get up. You know, I get up every 45 minutes, something to do something, walk, go outside. And then my husband, at the end of the day, he'll go, "Are you coming to bed?" "Yeah, as soon as I get this done." He goes, "You've been working on that for 7 hours." I know. Believe me, I know. It's not done yet. And then he's like, "Are you going to get it done in the time?" "Yeah, as soon as I get done with the hair, everything else moves on pretty fast." It's the hair. And Booma's hair in the beard, I've had some breakdowns. I did because I had to save this yarn. This is the very last skein of this yarn, and I'd already started the beard, so I had to set it aside. This is discontinued. So the brown now that I use for Booma, which is a darker brown, it's a little bit bigger, so it makes it easier. It goes quicker now. So hallelujah. What is it? Hallelujah. Hallelujah, sir. It much easier process now. It goes much easier. Thank you, Lord. I've kind of nixed the hands because even when I put the hands and you're holding the cats and stuff, you can't really tell. It didn't work. The feet were funnier, so I went with the feet on the hippie Boomas. And then you're holding the cat. People are just looking at the cat, not the hands. So I'm fine tuning everything down as I go. I'm getting it all down there. Yes, Sabrina has you, so you know. I mean, she was like, she claimed it. She's like, "I want it." Like, immediately got a message, "I want it." She said it in the live, sent it via somebody else live, said it in the live on, I think she was on Rumble, and then immediately messaged me and was like, "I want it." And I was like, "Okay, yes, ma'am." Oh, good. He trusts me now since the hairline process is okay. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll make you look dapper Dan. Well, I mean, I'm not going to put pomade in your hair, but I'll make you look pretty. Handsome. Nice. How do you tell a man you're going to make him look cute? You're not going to be homely. Okay? How do you compliment men? I don't compliment my husband. I just say, "Look at my lumberjack." And that's all he needs to hear, so. You know that the trend they were having with on TikTok, and although this was back in the day when I was still doing counseling, And all the little kids that I saw called kids, young women that were still in school, that were like the aides, they were in the break room and they were watching the ladies. Oh, how do you call your lover boy? Oh, lover boy. And they were all doing it, and they were like, Elizabeth, how do you call your lover boy? And I go, well, normally we're in a crowded place because we either like go to like hunting stuff together, taxidermy clinics together, National Wild Turkey Federation things. Normally I have to go, yo, Dave. Because if I were to go, David, he would never hear me. And they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, yo, Dave. Nobody believes me. If you ever hear me, that's how I yell. That's how I yell for my husband, yo, Dave. And he knows that's his wife. Everybody else is like, honey. And I'm like, yo, Dave. But all the little girls, the little aides, they were just like, they thought that was hilarious. Isn't it funny how you age? Like, those were the next kids right behind me in life. But I was already so far, and you age so quickly, and you don't notice it. And then you sit here one day and you're making dolls, worried about hairlines. Tell him he looks badass. I call him Grizzly Adams. He scares people. I like it when he scares people, even though I'm the mean one. Apparently, I've got this sweet little chipmunk cheek. She's just so cute. I'm evil. I'm not nice. I mean, I am to a point, but then I have a cut off and I'm done. And then I get really creative. David is like the eternal Boy Scout. I would not want to make him mad because he's very lethal. Like, you look at all the things that he brings in all winter long. He traps them and dispatches them and makes a pile of dead things all winter long. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm cute by default by that. But every once in a while he'll come in the house and I still feel useless because he'll go, yeah, well, they want a taxidermy prep for an open mouth on this, and I forgot where I needed to split this, that, and how to do the nose, and blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, you go here, you go under the tear duct, you go down the nasal, and he's like, okay. And then I'm like, I was useful because, listen, when I make mules and men jeans and I don't feel useful. But when I can tell you how to do a taxidermy prep for an open mouth rug, who's going to turn that Cody into a rug, I felt so useful. I was like, yes, man, I still got it. That was it. They were doing the dirty dancing thing. How do you call your lover boy? Well, if y'all ever hear, if you're ever in a public venue somewhere and you hear somebody go, yo, Dave, that is me going, excuse me, husband, where are you? Come here, please. That's how I do. Because if I were to say, excuse me, husband, come here, there's no authority in that. But if I go, yo, Dave, he's like, oh, the wife has demanded my... and he comes. Fast. He's like, yes, ma'am. Thank you. It was very demanding. But I'm bullish. That's the way I act. I'm a turd. Ask the loss prevention man at Walmart. You call your lover boy non-existent. My first real boyfriend, he came to the barn one day to see my horses, and he goes, you gonna go riding this evening? I said, yep. He goes, can I go riding? I said, I don't know, can you? He goes, can I ride one of your horses? No. But you have 7. No. Times 7. But no. He's like, but I'm your boyfriend. No. And I was like, you'll screw up my training. No. And he was mad. He was mad. And then I went out with this really, really sweet young man. He'd been in the Air Force, come back, and was visiting for a while. He had a crush on me before he went to the Air Force. We coon hunted together our whole lives. We'd known each other since we were tiny. He asked me on a date. I went with him. He took me to see Lightning Jack at the movie. I'm sorry. That was a bad movie to take a young lady to because I laughed the whole goddamn time, and he was extremely embarrassed. I thought it was funny. But he got us at the movies early. And listen, he had this huge I mean, it was a square body Chevy 4x4 jacked up. It was lovely, two-tone brown. It is just like the perfect truck. The perfect truck. Dual exhaust, the perfect truck. And my dad asked me before he let me go on the date, he goes, what happens if he tries to get fresh? I said, I take my knife out, I threaten his life, I kick him out of the vehicle, and I'm driving home myself. And Dad's like, good girl. So he gets us to the movie theater early, and he parks over toward the corner where it's a little dark, and I'm like, I'm on to you, son. You know, when we're coon hunting, I ain't got to work. I've got a gun. I'm lethal. But, you know, he thought I was going to be sweet. It's because we went coon hunting. Oh, no. It's not how I'm made. No, sir. So he parks over there, and he, bless his heart, he's backwards. He just bass actors as can be. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm already doing the excuse you, sir, look to him. Like, I'm on to you, bud. You know, you better not. And then he looks over, and there's already like a whole other teenage group over there in a car. Just, you couldn't tell one end from the other. They's just stuck. And he looked at me, and I said, try it and die. He did not. He was terrified of me. After I got divorced, my girlfriends told me I needed to get back out there and try to date, and they set me up with this guy that was a really nice guy. He was not a really nice guy. No, he was a skeezer. And so he wants to go and park. I guess in the Lebanon area, which is down toward Nashville, you park on the square. Lebanon has a really pretty square, and you watch people go around the square. I don't see the logic to this. I have better things to do with my time, but apparently he thought it was romantic. And I'm sitting like plastered to the passenger side door because this is my first date after divorce. And he's like, you know, you could scoot over here. And I was like, yeah, I could. As if to say, but I ain't gonna. And he goes, well, you know, I can scoot over to you. And he was driving a big straight shift. And I said, unless you want that gear shift in an odd place, boy, I'd just stay over there. It's just safer for you over there. And he's like, well, okay then. And I said, I think it's time to take me back to my vehicle. Thank you very much. I think the date's over. I was just like, you're going to crawl across the cab of your vehicle? No, sir. No, sir. I will find some way to harm you. Men, people, men. And then David was really sweet. But David got me because he was really sweet. He got me because my best friend that I've known forever, she married his brother. And, you know, his brother was supposed to put my radiator in. His brother got called, had to stay late at work. He told his brother she needs the radiator put in. She doesn't have enough money for the labor, but she's got the radiator. David said, I'll help her out. I'll do it because my husband is the eternal sweet man. I swear. He will help anyone. Heck, one of his friends that he went to school with, and it was a girl, but I know her too. Last storm we had, tree fell on her house. She didn't have money. And she called me and she goes, can I borrow Dave? And I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, which chainsaw does he need? The little one, the medium one, the big one. But he was just super sweet. And he did all that and even sassed my ex-husband. The one time my ex-husband showed up to try to take the kids on a weekend that wasn't even his. And he brought that little woman that he was dating. He even sassed that little woman because she was like, are you the new boyfriend? He's like, no, ma'am, I'm putting in a radiator. And she's like, well, no, ma'am, we'll stay with something like her. She doesn't even take care of herself. She's not pretty like me. And I swear this woman said this. I was on the back porch trying not to have a come apart because I was mad because I hadn't seen this man in like 9 months. And then he shows up right then, wanting to take the kids. You don't do that to a mom. And anyway, when that woman said that to David, he cocked his hat sideways and said, ma'am, woman to bust up a home with 2 babies in it. Ain't nothing pretty about you. And then he put his hat back straight, went back to work. And I thought, I better watch that man. I better pay attention to that man. And then he just started showing up at church. He started showing up at every community function he knew I was going to be at. Mom and Dad started inviting him over for Sunday afternoon dinner. You know, and then finally when we started talking, I realized he was a very sweet man. But it wasn't until like Lane would run up when he would show up on Sundays that Mom and Dad had invited him for dinner. Lane would run up and be like, Dave, 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 you take me fishing at the pond. Take me fishing at the pond. And they would go fishing at the pond. My son didn't have any, he had had oral surgery, didn't have any front teeth. And Helly would be like, I won't go. And he'd be like, well, get you some boots on. You can't go down there barefoot. And she'd go run, find her clodhoppers. And I would be like, you need me? He's like, no, I got him. He's like, I'll keep him on the slope side where there ain't no grass and stuff. And I was like, okay, thanks. I was working on dinner. And he would take my kids fishing. I mean, it was just at the pond and behind the house on the farm. But he would take my kids fishing. And they'd all come back muddy, packing a bass or a couple of brim, happy, slap them on the grill. We were all happy. And I think he fell in love with my kids before he fell in love with me. And I think that's what made me fall in love with him. He was just a daddy. He was a daddy model. And he's never attached to anybody. He didn't have any children. He had been a very careful person when choosing people to spend time with. I took a lesson from that because I didn't do a very good job of that. So everybody thinks I'm smart. I'm educated. Two very separate things. So yeah, I lucked out and got a really dandy guy who's very expensive right now with his diabetic grocery list, let me tell you. But it's okay. I'm working on my domestic goddess elevation courses. It's slow, but it's happening. See, that's how I am. I'm kind of like, if you're not serving me divorce papers, we're cool, right? I don't require a lot of upkeep. You don't need to pet me. I'm not a dog. That's why I'm one of those. David, he requires a little bit more upkeep. He does. I have to oogle and ogle every once in a while. And, and if he runs his chainsaw, I have to go, ooh, look at my big lumberjack, and I have to do that. But now, for me, if you're not giving me, if you're not serving me divorce papers, we're cool. I'm good. I require if I was a horse, I'd be a Morgan horse. I'd stay fat on a handful of grain, and I would never test a fence, and I'd always be there, ready to do whatever he needed done. No questions asked, just good as gold. That's me. Unless you make me mad. And then I turn into like a Appaloosa. But don't make me mad. But now David, he's just salt of the earth, good man. And I, at that point, rather than looking for someone that, I was going to get butterflies for, I was looking for somebody that could be a dad. But what I didn't realize was when I found somebody that was going to be a good dad, that's what gave me the butterflies. So, tell you what, hormones are a bitch. They do really, listen, I had a hysterectomy at 30 and I dared them. They put me on estrogen for a week and I said, take me off this crap. And they were like, you don't need to go without it. And I was like, I've always had too much testosterone. This estrogen it's not doing anything for me. And David looked at the man and he was like, take her off of it. She's evil. It was bad. Took me off the estrogen plus, post-hysterectomy, no estrogen, less likely to have any kind of cancer. So that it made sense for me. I still have a lot of testosterone. But, I'm not growing a beard yet, so hallelujah. But I'm pretty level-headed, and I've pretty much always been level-headed. But I will say estrogen vacating helped. So, ladies, don't freak out about menopause. It's really a nice, pleasant experience to not have to deal with the little Satan pop-ups, of the estrogen monster. Because, no. Other than giving me my babies, estrogen did nothing good for me ever. Never. So, yeah, I'm 48. I haven't had estrogen since I was 30. I'm still cute, okay? I'm not growing mustaches and beards, okay? But they scare women about menopause. Menopause is very freeing because you don't have the third and fourth hormonal arguments going around in your head. It's freeing. See, is that they tried me on estrogen, and David looked at that because I made David go to the appointment with me to tell the doctor how evil I had been. And David was like, "Take her off of it." He's like, "I can't stand her," and I was like, "I can't stand myself," and took me off of it. And the next time I went to the doctor, I asked if I could finally go fishing, and he was like, "If you feel like going fishing, going fishing." So we went fishing. I was fine. Never had a problem after that. So I don't get to fish as often as I'd like to anymore because I can't walk to all the good ponds. But that's my legs and all that neuromuscular crap and that boy that threw the axe at me that caused all that problem. So, you know. But I do have some secret ponds that I can get to that are pretty good fishing. David works a lot, so I don't get to go a lot. I used to take myself fishing, to take myself deer hunting, and now I'm domesticated. So steroids, man, I cannot tolerate steroids. Number one, if I touch weights, I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in about 2 months. I will look. I build muscle like a man, always have. It's called being farm labor from a young. I just train my body to build muscle, and I cannot take steroids anymore because of this disorder. They make me evil, and it makes my body flare and do really weird things. But mostly, it just makes me evil. Like, I've made jokes all the time, like, we don't need Marines. We just need to take all the women with thyroid issues, take their thyroid medicine away, and send them to the Middle East, and we'll figure everything out. We'll fix it. 5 seconds. But also, back in the day, if you gave me steroids, good luck. I got really sick after 2 surgeries when I was a parole officer, and they had to give me steroids. And I was on a course of steroids for a number of months because I had to have 3 surgeries patched together. And y'all, my caseload would go, "She's still on steroids." They were like whispering it to each other so that she's still on steroids. Man, don't pull no crap, man. She don't. And I was like, "Dadgummit, I'm not that mean," but I was. I was totally that mean. Hi, Chelsea. I need to shut up too, but thanks for listening to me for so long. I'm telling you, don't fear menopause. It's a blessing in disguise. It's not going to make you less of nothing except for an emotional mess. Trust the process. Good Lord knew what he was doing. He gave us a break. We deserved it. Enjoy it. Cortisone, it does act like a steroid, and I don't do well with cortisone shots either. I had to have some in my knees. No. They wanted to put rooster comb injections in. We tried that once, didn't do very well. Then they wanted to do cadaver cartilage in my knees, and I said, "No, thank you. I don't like to share, and I don't think I would like to share with somebody that I couldn't ask if they wanted to share. It just bothers me." So we didn't know. And the way as bad as my knees are, it would be a simple, tiny fix, and I'd have to completely redo it. And then every time I have any kind of surgery, my neuromuscular disorder advances or acts up and flares up. I would be on a bad roller coaster. So I'm better to just kind of sit here, deal with what I know I can deal with, unless it's something that really causes me a lot of pain or a lot of harm. We don't try to fix it. I just kind of put my nose down and go through it. I'm allergic to all the good medicines. So we just get used to pain and we put our nose down and we go through it. That's what we do. Yeah, I know. I just thought, I don't share well, and I don't think I want to share with somebody that I couldn't ask if they wanted to share, because that would make me mad. And then, when we just don't know, jury's still out on if that's really something that needs to be done. I'm just saying. Have you heard about people getting people's eyes and seeing visions? And I'm sorry. Just, no, thank you. We'll leave that out there with the don't know what to expect, so I ain't touching it. Kind of like tater salad in August at the Baptist, homecoming. It's over there and I ain't going to touch it. A little leery. And I know every one of y'all understood that. I made deviled eggs the other day and they didn't look like deviled eggs because I didn't have any mustard. So I had to finagle between like a brown, it was kind of like a brown honey mustard and a Chick-fil-A sauce and that donkey sauce from Guy Fieri or whatever. And David said, those don't look quite right. I said, just eat them, shut up. I said, somebody ate all the mustard. And it was David. David ate all the mustard. Crystal, everybody, I appreciate you. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get up, walk around, do some stuff. I've got to check my crock pot because I've already got dinner going for David. I'm going to do a little bit more work on this later, but I've got to get out, do a couple of things, get my body moving. And I need to check my beans because I saw that tornado whipped some of my vines away from my trellis, so I need to go and rewrap those. So I'm going to go out and enjoy this much cooler day, make a ramble around the yard. Hopefully the neighbor's dog will not come after me. It's kind of funny to be wearing a nice summer dress and have to carry 9mm out in your own goddamn yard, but that's what's fixing to happen. But hey, you know, it's the accessory that goes with everything. I've never put olives on them. I may try that. But I'm going to get busy, get up and do some stuff, vacuum, do a few things, get mobile, move. Because this evening, when I sit back down to work on this, I will go into a trance because I lose time when I crochet. And I expect to like zone out until, David goes to bed and I all of a sudden look up and the TV shut itself off because it does after so many hours. Then I go, oh crap, I better go to bed. That's what's going to happen tonight. So I'm going to go get all my stuff done because I'm going to be in biscuits making mode later. And that sounds so funny. That could either be a cat or a grandma making biscuits or anyway, I'm going to be in biscuits making mode later. This is the strangest conversation with anyone I've ever had. Okay. I love you. Thank you, Biscuits, for jumping in and improving your hairline, even though it's not all the way done, and giving me insight on your Hush Puppy Italian loafers. I will just try to make them look too expensive for me. That's the goal. And as soon as I get one of these dolls done, I'll open up another option because I know I've still got several people wanting one. But I can only do 2 at a time, and so I kind of overlap them. And by the time I get this one done, I'll have the next one almost done so that I can open up. And then when I get that one done, that's how I do it. That's how I stay sane. I can't handle more than 2 at a time because I get really invested in these things. So just be patient. They keep making the yarn. I'll keep making the dolls. Just be patient. And if you have an idea and you want something special done to the one that you want, just message David through Etsy and he'll tell me to check it. And if it's something I can do, I can do. Had a lady the other day wanted a special color cat with special colored eyes and a specific color shirt. That's fine. I don't mind it. That's fine. I just make notes. That's fine. I don't mind at all. So I do, however, have to take some breaks in between certain dolls. And I do have to get Bluey and Bingo made. So I may slow down after the next couple and get a couple of other things done because my grandchildren are going to revolt if I don't get Bluey and Bingo done. And I can't have that. So my grandma duty is going to have to go up here, be prioritized for a little bit. Also, I have a tattoo appointment coming up. It's going to have to go there. I hate to put it on the fat, but I ain't got nowhere else to put it. So I'm out of room. That's where it's going to have to go. So I got some stuff going on. It'll be a fun next couple months. Can't believe I'm in biscuits making mode. We shall see how it ends up. And the next Booma doll, I'm using a different tactic. We'll see how it changes the look of this doll. So lots of stuff changing on the horizon. Make sure you send up prayers for Gypsy, who's still healing from her surgery. Sally's family is having some issues with some leg issues and some possible surgery stuff going on. Always keep Sal in your prayers. You know, Sal had a pretty big medical emergency several months ago, so I always just kind of keep them in my prayers. And we've got Ashley going through a lot with family stuff that's really difficult for her right now. That's why we don't see her a lot. She's very busy right now. and we need to keep her in our prayers as well. And pray for me as I make $15,000 that I do not lose my what's left of my sanity. I don't lose what's left of my sanity. And also, if I disappear for a few days, don't worry, I'm still making dolls, but I'm going down the hill on the farm, and I'm just going to be making dolls down there. When I'm down there, I don't get on as much because I'm spending time with Mom and garden. Bad gardens. Yep. Gardens. Y'all know me in gardens. Has to be done. Let's just do it. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. I love yous. Thanks for spending time with me. Don't forget, Booma, every Tuesday at 6. He does stuff on Sundays too, right? And then Sabrina's traveling. Keep her in your prayers. So everybody have a wonderful class. And when you meet Sabrina and you realize that she is just a normal person and a lovely, lovely, lovely lady, I told you so. Squeeze her, give her a hug, and call her Heifer, and she'll love you forever. I'm going to go. Bye, guys.